What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here at Lago Maggiore for the daily race B, as we did do a couple of qualifying laps in a previous video. If you guys want to check that out, it's just checking the link in the description. But yeah, we are here at Lago Maggiore. As you can see, everybody decided to pick the Peugeot, except for maybe like one or two cars. They decided to pick, let's see, the Audi TT. And I think that was it. Everyone else was using the Peugeot. So in this lobby, we are starting in 6th position, as we did get a 2:03.9. So we were able to improve our qualifying lap from the other day. So able to push ourselves up into 6th place on this lobby, as we do have a couple of fast guys ahead of us. As you can see, they rate low 2:03. And we are just going to have to push as much as we can to try to see if we can get as many positions as we can on this race, as it is only a 3-lap race. So before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, we're trying to reach the goal of 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the race. Now, as we come into the race, again, we are starting in 6th place, as we are ranked with a lot of fast drivers. We have a couple A+ drivers and A-ranked drivers, as again, we are starting with a 2:03.9, right behind a couple of Brazilians, actually a few Brazilians, an Argentinian, and an American. So we're going to, again, just push as much as we can, see if we can catch up to these guys, and see how many positions we can make up in the span of 3 laps. So coming down the straightaway here, we're right behind the Brazilians. We're just going to fall right in line with him. Just follow the slipstream as we head into the first corner. Waiting right after the 100-meter board, braking right after that shadow, and we're going to try to brake as late as we can to not allow the car behind us to make a move onto the inside, as we're going to go to the right-hander here. Coming to the right-hander, we're still following the Brazilian, as you can see, we're just in a single file line here, and we're just going to fast forward here as the Brazilian makes a little bit of contact with the grass, and actually slows him down as he goes a little bit wide coming out of the right-hander. So coming to the first hairpin right here, you can see the car goes very, very wide, as I think he clipped the grass and just missed his braking zone, and he actually gets overtaken by the 3rd place car, or by the American, my bad. And we are now on his back bumper, and so is the Brazilian, as we're going to see if the Brazilian tries to make a move onto the inside. He thinks about it, but he thinks twice and actually backs out of the move there. So coming to the S section here, you don't really want to fight, as it's better just to follow the car ahead of you, get into the slipstream, and then try to make a move going into this little straightaway that leads you into the hairpin, and try to make a move going into the hairpin instead of just fighting through the S's and wasting time. So nothing really happened throughout the first lap, as we jump into the second lap now, and this is where things are going to start kicking off. As you see, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are now lined up nose to tail as we're heading to the S's right here. Actually, 1st is up there too, and you see one of the cars actually gets a penalty there, so that's going to help us, as he's going to have to serve his penalty on the next lap. But coming down to the short little straightaway, you see that the Brazilian is still right behind all of them, as we're all still going single file, and the car behind us is right behind us too, so he might try to make a move onto the inside, as the cars ahead of us are actually going swirly. The car behind us actually tries to make a move onto the inside, and we let him go through, as we do know he's got a penalty, so we're just going to follow right behind him. As you see, he's got a half a second penalty, and so does the car ahead of him. As you can see, they're starting to get a little squirrely up there, as they're starting to go double wide, going into the right-hander, and the Brazilians trying to make a move onto the inside, but they make a little bit of contact as they're going 3 wide into the 2 right-handers. Going into the 2 right-handers, they actually swap positions there, as we're still right behind the Argentinian, and they're going to go 3 wide again as they come into the 2nd right-hander. The Argentinian makes contact with the American, pushes him out wide. He's on the grass. The American tries to slam into the Brazilian. He makes contact with the Argentinian, and we bump into the back of the Argentinian as we're coming to the final corner, and we get a 2-second penalty, as we now start focusing what's going on ahead of us, and the Argentinian actually just bumps out the American. He gets even more penalties now, as the American comes out of the final corner very, very bad, as he went to the grass, and we're going to make a move onto the inside and overtake him, but we still have to worry about our 2-second penalty, as we're going to have to serve that coming in a few corners coming up. So coming to the 2nd corner here, basically 5th, 6th, 7th, and I believe 8th also has a penalty, as I'm really not sure why we got that penalty. If we accidentally just bumped into the back of the I think it was the Argentinian, and it wasn't even our fault. It's just he just got stacked up there, and we just had nowhere to go. But that's GT Sport penalty logic right there. So not sure why we got the penalty, as we're going to the penalty zone now, serving our penalty. We're going to see if we could try to make a move onto the Argentinian, as we have a better momentum here. Going onto the inside, he's trying to squeeze us down as we're heading to the hairpin. Braking as late as we can, and the Argentinian actually breaks himself, goes into the outside. As we jump into the replay, let's see what happened here. You see he's trying to hold us into the inside, as he's pinching us down right here, and we try to brake as late as we can, and we're able to do so. And the Argentinian just, I don't know, I think he got scared and thought that we were going to run into the side of him, but he ended up outbraking himself, and we are able to make the overtake as we're still in 6th place on the final lap. So coming to the final sector now, as we're on the final lap, we're trying to gain on the Argentinian ahead of us, as he does have a 2-second penalty. So all we have to do is just stay right behind him, and we should be able to get 5th place, as the penalty should allow him to, or allow us to get ahead of him when we cross the start finish line. So coming to the final corner now, we're just taking it very smoothly, as we don't want to make any mistakes here, as it's going to be an easy 5th place position. And coming down to the line, you see there's another car ahead of us that has a penalty. As we come down to the line, there's actually a pink car in the pit, not sure why he's there, and we actually get 4th place. As let's see what happened here. The pink car just decides to come, not sure what happened, he just came into the pits and slammed right into the wall, and that's going to give us 4th position right there. So finishing our first race in a good note, as we're going to get a 4th position, and really happy about that as we jump into our second race now. So coming to our second race, we're coming down the straightaway, as we are actually starting in 9th place here. So this is actually an earlier race, so we actually had a worse qualifying time. So currently in 9th place, you see there's an American that goes out very wide. He missed his first braking point, and he actually goes back onto the track, forces himself back onto the track. We actually get contact from there, and he actually makes more contact with us, as we are now on the grass, and we have to let him go here. If not, we would have spun him out. So letting the American get ahead of us there after kind of a brutal second turn. We are now still demoted into 9th place, as we were in 8th place for just a second, but now we're heading to the hairpin. We can see if we can try to gain some more position as we come out of the hairpin. So coming out of the hairpin, you see the Brazilian ahead of us has a penalty, as we're still following the American, but we're catching up to 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we're just going to follow them and see if we can try to catch up to him. And we're just following in line here, just taking it very smoothly, as it's still the first lap. And anything can happen, especially with these cars ahead of us. So the Brazilian tries to make a move onto the inside. He forces his way there. He pushes him out wide, and we make the overtake there, as we are now promoted into 7th place, as we're trying to make a move onto the inside of the American, but he holds us down, as the Brazilian is holding everybody up there as we come into the final corner. So coming to the final corner, the Brazilian still has a 1-second penalty, as we're still too far away to try to make any type of move now as we come down to the final corner, leading us into the straightaway. And fast forwarding here. So fast forwarding here to the first corner, braking right after the shadow. The Brazilian and the American are going side by side, but the American allows the Brazilian to go ahead of him, and they actually make a little bit of contact. The Brazilian gets bumped out wide, and we're trying to capitalize on that, but we are unable to, as the Brazilian is able to block us there as we come into the left-hander. So following the Brazilian here, not trying to force the issue here, as he does have a 1-second penalty. We're just going to keep following him and try to stay with 5th and 4th, as we don't really need to, again, push the issue and risk getting ourselves into any trouble, as the Brazilian has to serve his penalty now, and we are promoted into 6th place because of that, as we jump up into the end of lap number 2. So coming to the final part of lap number 2, as we're coming to the hairpin, we're still following the Americans. He's trying to make a move onto the inside of the Argentinian. They're going side by side, so we really have nowhere to go, because we don't want to put this into a 3-wide situation as we head to the hairpin. Braking right after both of them, we're going to see if we can try to make a move onto the inside of the Argentinian, as they're still going side by side coming out of the hairpin. And the Argentinian gets a better exit there, as the American actually tries to swerve and tries to hold his spot there as we head into the left-hander. Coming to this right-hander here, we're still just trying to get as close as we can to the American, see if we can make a move onto the inside. As we're looking, but he's going to actually block us as we come into the first right-hander, and we got to back out of there. If not, we would have made contact with him, and who knows if we would have gotten another penalty. But coming to the second right-hander now, we're right behind the Americans. We're now on his back bumper. We're going to try to see if we can try to force our way into the inside, as he did make contact with us in the first corner, or in the second corner. So we force our way into the inside, make a little bit of contact with him, and we're going to go side by side now as we head down to the straightaway. And he's actually going to get a better exit, as he's coming out a little bit wider on the exit. And we're just going to be a drag race now as we come down to the straightaway, leading us into the first corner. So coming to the first corner, we try to brake as late as we can, and we're able to make the overtake now on him, as we are now promoted into 5th place, and we set our sights on the Argentinian ahead of us, as if we are able to get past him, we will finish in 4th place and get 5 positions on this race. So coming now towards the end of the final lap here, we're just trying to hold our position. As you can see, the American behind us is now right behind us. He gives us a little tap as we come out of the final corner, or not the final corner, but the hairpin. And coming to the final corner, we're just a little too far back to make any type of move on the Argentinian. Actually, we're way too far back to even think about making an overtake on the Argentina. As we come out of the final corner, coming down to a straightaway, we're going to finish in 5th place. So we were able to start in 9th place, finish in 5th place, and gain 4 positions, As you can see, a couple of cars got penalties. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with the penalty system here. It's for like a couple of weeks it was good. I mean, I didn't have that many penalties issues with the game, but for some reason with this racetrack, it's just always there's penalties that are given when honestly it wasn't deserved. Like our first penalty that we got on the first race, we shouldn't have gotten that 2-second penalty. Again, we really had nowhere to go. We just ran to the back of that car, and hopefully Polyphony fixes it, but who knows. Anyways, we were able to get 2 good finishes. The first race we did finish in 4th, and this one we did finish in 5th, so we were able to get a little bit of help on our driver ranking. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video entertaining. If you guys did, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps that channel when you guys do so. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.